In the earliest dawn, two lovers awoke, and sipping some water, she said, "Who do you love more, me or yourself?" She wanted the truth. So he replied, "I can't love myself. I don't exist anymore. I'm like a ruby held up to the sun, melting into one redness. Can you tell the gem from the world when a ruby gives itself to sunlight?" That's how holy ones can truthfully say, "I am God." So be a ruby at dawn and hold to your practice. Keep up the work, digging your well until you strike water. Hang a ruby in your ear and it will become the sun. Keep knocking at the door and joy will look out the window to let you in. It's a quote by Rumi, and I recently read this in Deepak Chopra's book God, which has been interesting. I unfortunately have to return it to the library, so I can't read the whole thing, but I will say that having read about 284 pages of it, it's a good read. I recommend. And yeah, I don't know what I expected from this book, but it definitely had food for thought. It's not religious, which is interesting. So from a spiritual point of view, looking at different people's lives and their thoughts, or, you know, I think you can check this out, but I will say that the chapter on Shankara was very interesting. I'd never heard of Shankara before, but he was apparently a man who was in India who would argue with people and disprove their ideas about God, and definitely very clever man. I think that was probably my favorite besides Rumi. And then also I never heard of Giordano Bruno, who was tortured for his spiritual beliefs, but that was also very interesting to read about. And Julian of Norwich, there was a beautiful metaphor that was used in this book. Let me just find the spot. She was a woman who had visions, like in the Middle Ages, and one of her visions was to see the world as a globe that was in her hands. And this is what it says. He showed me a little thing, the quantity of a hazelnut, lying in the palm of my hand, as it seemed, and it was round as any ball. I looked upon it with the eye of my understanding, and thought, what may this be? And it was answered generally thus, it's all that is made. I marveled how it might last, for I thought it might suddenly have fallen to naught for littleness. And I was answered in my understanding, it lasts and ever shall, for God loves it, and so have all things their beginning by the love of God. So it's like everything, yet humble at the same time. So, yes, I'm gonna go return this to the library now. I if I weren't about to go to another country next year, I would totally try to buy a copy of this, but I'm trying to declutter. And maybe I'll get the Kindle for the last 2 chapters. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the readings that I shared. They